Okay, good. So, just a quick recap. So, Helen's asked us to come on here to talk about how breathing can leverage your detox and help you in managing the mind-body system, not only during a detox, but by detoxing with every breath.
So, what we'll talk about is we're going to talk about the body detoxing, but what is also really interesting is we are going to also talk about detoxing the mind.
Ooh.
It's a big part of it. So we mentioned before that the introducing more oxygen into your body via doing we like circular breathing as the preferred method, and we're going to take you through a circular breathing session while we're on here.
A 3-minute quickie, just to give you a taste.
So that's what. So we're going to do that. So stick around. What we wanted to really sort of come along and let you know that cravings is probably one of the tough parts that you go through when you're doing any kind of detox. When you're switching from foods that you love, and let's face it, we get a lot of pleasure from food. It's why people get hooked into eating shit food. It's the pleasure part of it as well.
And even though you're stacking your body full of vegetables for 9 days, there's still like a little thing in the mind that goes like, I'm not hungry, but I would really love to have something else, but I'm full and I know I might feel worse if I have something. So if you think about it like this on a cellular level, if your body's starving or hungry for something, what do you go to first? You go to food. But really, if you start going to water and oxygen, you might not actually start rummaging in your cupboards for food because your body might need more oxygen or might need more hydration more than it needs food.
And also think about it too. I know it seems insignificant, but if you get the craving and you're like, I'm about to go for the cookies or I'm about to go for something, you've just got to have a small interruption. Small interruptions.
Pattern break.
Just take a couple of breaths and go and... This is what I do. What I do is when I want to go for the Bicky Barrel or the chocolate or something, I'll go and sit on the ground in the lounge room first. If it's available, if you're in an office or you're somewhere, try and find somewhere where you can go and just start doing some breaths. It doesn't have to be any kind of breathing technique. It doesn't have to be anything. It can just be just deeper, faster, rhythmic breathing than you're usually doing normally. That will do two things. One, it will oxygenate your body and slow down the satiation, the thing that you're, the craving part. But two, it'll also give you some time to think about what you are doing. It'll give you time to stop yourself and go, I don't need to do this. I committed to the 9-day challenge of just having the vegetables. So.
Yeah. Okay, so we're also going to talk a little bit more about the actual mechanics of what's happening when you're breathing. So at the end of the session, we'll take you through breathing, 3 minutes of breathing, which you'll be able to take away with you. And just know when you're doing the breathing, like if you think about it, like the diaphragm's the biggest muscle in the body. And I'll make this quick. And it sits right on top of the stomach. So when you actually are breathing, what you're doing is the diaphragm is descending and ascending within the body, and it's massaging the stomach and vital organs. So while you're doing big, deep breaths, you're massaging the organs and encouraging the organs to release toxins out of the body.
It's a peristalsis of such.
Really
it
great
also
to do
helps.
during colonics as well.
Yeah, it also helps. So you will find that, and I know Helen loves talking about poop. And I can tell you right now,
we can talk poop.
It used to be the morning coffee that used to get it going, but I can tell you right now, a really short rhythmic breathing session will also get the guts flowing, and it will really help. And Angie mentioned before about massaging all the vital organs, let alone it's all of those, the liver, everything,
lymphatic system,
all the lymphatic system, everything starts to get massaged and move through because if you think about it, introducing oxygen and especially we like to use a circular breathing method, and there is a reason that we use a circular breathing method with an active and a passive style of breathing, and we're going to take you through that in a minute. But the reason is because you're consistently balancing out the CO2 levels. So carbon dioxide in the body, you need it to punch the oxygen out of the blood so that the oxygen goes into the tissues. And so when you do the circular breathing with an active and a passive, so that's active inhale, passive exhale, and it's letting go, you're letting go, so you're letting go of toxins, you're letting go of crap that's happened throughout the day, but you're also encouraging the oxygenated blood to get into the cells. Now, if you think about that from a detoxing point of view, that's what you need. You want to introduce oxygen so it pushes the toxins out. So that's why we encourage circular breathing. I've had people that have said to me, I don't know how breathing can affect weight loss. Well, that mechanism that I just explained will help with it and moving toxins out of the body.
Yeah. And so what happens when you burn fat? It turns into carbon dioxide. And what happens when you breathe out? What is the component of what you breathe out? Carbon dioxide. So if you get really good at breathing, you get really good at losing fat. And also, it's a really great, if you think about it, a lot of the times the body holds on to fat for a protection mechanism, especially around the visceral fats, around the vital organs. So you could be doing all kinds of cleanses and detoxes and still holding on to weight if the body is stressed out. So the breath is the fastest way to relax the body, to allow the body to feel safe enough to let go of toxins and safe enough to let go of fat, which therefore means that you get skinnier faster. And you're happier because you're not as stressed.
And think about it. So most people have toxic thoughts. They have toxic emotions. And so if you have toxic thoughts and emotions, they do manifest in the body. And as Angie mentioned, often they manifest around the middle area. There's many things that you could go into and explanations of why that is. But what we have personally experienced is the more breathing that we've done, the more conscious we become of the food that we're eating, not only the type of food, but the quality of food. But we've also started to understand.
Guilty, yes.
We've also started to understand that it does detox our mind and our thoughts. And so we are letting go of the thoughts and emotions. It doesn't mean you get rid of them, okay? Don't worry. You can still be a dickhead. You can still act like a dickhead. You can still get emotional. It's not going to stop. It still happens. But what it does, you don't hold on to it. So you're not then holding on to those toxins and holding the weight on your body as well. So it has that double effect of actually doing something physiological in the body, but also mental and emotional. You get the benefit of the detoxing as well.
And so really there are three components. There's like what Shane was saying, the mind and the body, and then there's something else. And the something else is that it's an experience for you. If you've been to one of our sessions, you probably have experienced what breath can do for you, or even if you start breathing, like even a sigh of relief. What happens when you do a sigh of relief? You go, and you let go, or you experience pleasure. That is the something else that you get to enjoy and tap into the breath. So what we would like to do right now is give you an experience, a 3-minute experience. Or is there something that you want to add before we go into it?
Before we go into the experience, one practical step that I would encourage everyone to do, and that is while you're on this challenge, a way to really slingshot your results and get the most out of it is prior to eating or prior to exercise or prior to anything that you're going to do that's movement based or that has to do with the detox, is do just 5 minutes of the circular breathing that we're about to show you. So you just put it pre and post what you're doing. This is just going to help. It'll leverage your results. You'll get more bang for buck, and it'll engage what we call the effortless advantage, which means you get more for doing less. And that's again, that's a thing that you want. You want to leverage this so you get the most out of it.
And I know Helen talks about mood affecting gut health as well. So this is like the breath is like the body's way of hacking into your mood and your physical, mental, and something else well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. So if everyone out there is ready, what we'll get you to do is, if you're sitting down in a seat, we'll just get you to sit in the seat so you're comfortably on your sit bones. Don't have your back against the chair. So just sit comfortably on your sit bones. You can rest your hands in your lap with your palms facing up. Or if you want to try something that's really that's a little bit more
See if I
relaxing
can
is you
bring
can
this
sit.
over.
You can sit on the edge of the chair with your hands down by your side, and that way it's going to encourage your shoulders to relax. So sitting like that, what I'll get you to do is take one hand and just place it on your stomach, and take a couple of breaths, and you want to be able to feel your belly expanding as you breathe in.
Letting go of everything on the inhale, an expansion on the inhale.
So just feel that rhythmic movement as you breathe in. The belly expands. As you exhale, you're just letting go. So the air's just falling out of you. So we're going to do this for 3 minutes. I'm going to put a timer on.
Now, some people say nose or mouth. Right now,
Just stay with the mouth.
Pick one that works.
Stay with the mouth.
Mouth is more detoxing.
So we're going to just focus on breathing low into the body, and it's going to be an active inhale, passive exhale. So in and out. And you'll keep going.
3 minutes, go now.
So keep it low. As you let go, drop the shoulders, drop the jaw. There you go, keep it going.
You might start to feel the oxygen coming through now.
You might start to feel a little bit, there could be some dizziness, could be some tingling. It's all completely normal, and there's no hangover. So dig out. Keep it going. It's a little bit slightly faster, slightly deeper than your normal breathing pattern. And it's connected. There's no gaps, there's no pauses. You're just going round the circle. Almost there.
Halfway through. If you're just joining us now, just start breathing.
Just start breathing. Just in that circular pattern. You're just doing a connected circular breathing pattern. This is great to add prior to any movement, stretching. That's all it is. If you're just stringing sighs of relief together, that also works. Sighs of relief, it's pleasurable for the body. It's what nature has inbuilt in you.
1 more minute.
1 minute to go. Just stick with it. Now just take a couple of big deliberate sighs. Do about 5 sighs in a row. Just 5 sighs in a row. Keep sighing to keep them connected, and keep sighing. Good.
And a couple more breaths and come back to yourself.
Now, if you've got time, just drop a little comment in on how you feel right now, just so that we know, just so that...
Or if you have any questions.
Yeah, or if you have any questions, we'd like to now take some questions from you. If you've got any specific questions, we'll answer them now. But just so that we recap on what we've gone through, the main points are that the breathing and getting oxygen in the body is going to really help with any kind of cravings. Generally the cells in your body
calmer, more
are
sensitive.
Craving oxygen, and so that's where you think you're craving chocolate or shit food. It's probably more oxygen than anything else. The actual physical or mechanical movement of the breathing will press and squish and massage all of the internal organs. So you're going to get a physical detox from that. Great. People are feeling bit space, a little bit spinny,
hard to type. Yeah, lips and feet are tingly, very strange. Yeah,
strange,
that's oxygen.
or exciting and pleasurable.
Oxygen, that's the body starting to do what it needs to do. Enjoy it. I got really lightheaded with that. Is the breathing something I should be doing more often? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you go through the day holding your breath, not breathing very well, what we call subventilating, you might be sighing a lot during the day because the body does sighs of relief to basically catch up in the oxygen. So definitely should be doing it more often. We have people come to our house and
Amanda's lightheaded too.
Yeah, lightheaded. Yep. And we just breathe throughout the day. We breathe from our desk, breathe while we're cleaning, breathe while we're doing dishes.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Now, a lot of people do get concerned with the dizziness straight away. And how I've explained this, because there's a lot of people are worried about hyperventilation, and it comes up a lot for us. And what we've learned from all the mentors, all the science journals that I've read on hyperventilation is that you will get dizzy if you do have a pre-existing breathing dysfunction. Now, most of us do have a pre-existing breathing dysfunction. But what the circular breathing will do for you, although it might be a slightly strange or dizzy, what it will do for you is it will start resetting your breathing mechanism. And so you won't get the giddy, dizzy feelings. You'll start to feel the superpowers that are inherent in your breathing mechanism, the pleasurable part of it, the part that makes you crystal clear and gives you clarity and gives you energy on demand. And that's really where you want to head to. And as we know with anything, it's like exercise. At the start, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable and your muscles hurt afterwards. It's going to be the same with retraining your breathing mechanism. It's going to feel slightly uncomfortable. You're going to get dizzy sensations. But hey, here's the thing. Do it lying down. Do it sitting. You're not going to fall anywhere. Yeah. So, and Sonia, yawning is yawning. Our mentor, Dan, who's Tony Robbins' breath coach, he's been around the world teaching breathing for 40 years. He said, yawning and sighing is the best he's got. That's it. Now the dizziness, it brings happiness. Yeah. Think about kids. When you were kids, you wanted to get on a swing or a roundabout and go round and round and round because what you're attempting to do is you're getting an altered state from it.
Letting go.
And that's really what we're about. I mean, the reason we eat food, the reason we eat shitty food, the reason we drink alcohol, the reason anyone smokes cigarettes or does any of those things is because they're trying to get out of their head. They're trying to get an altered state. It just so happens that the breathing will give you the altered state and it's good for you. And it's great for you. So now you've got a reason to get off your head. And breathing is the way to do it. It's, I say that with a bit of tongue in cheek, but it really is. And the benefits are inherent in it. And and the more that you do it, the better you feel and the more you start to feel in control of yourself.
Yeah. So I'm just reading what Julie wrote, having a bad week with detox and have really noticed that I've gone back to shallow breathing and finding I'm not getting enough air in. Love this reminder. This is great because the interesting thing is what the immediate reaction we do when we get stressed out is to go to protection. So you kind of hunch your shoulders,
budgie breaths,
cut off your breathing mechanism and breathe up into your chest or in your neck. You don't actually get full breaths and you're not actually getting the massage that you needed when you take big, deep breaths. But if you can learn when you're highly stressed or when you're really having a difficult struggle throughout the day, to throw in those sighs of relief or do the 3 minutes of that letting go breathing, you'll notice that you start to let go of your breath. And when you let go of your breath, you let go of a lot of other things, including weight, stress, worry,
people renting space in your head that don't need to be.
Yeah, things that you don't need to be worrying about.
Julie, the other thing too is that the short, shallow breathing is generally fear inherent in the body. It comes up in here, and people, if you think about the circle that goes round, where your in breath meets your out breath, there's a little space there where it meets. And the fear gets stuck at the top there. So people generally, they get stuck in the top there. So often doing this breathing is going to help you release fear out of your body, and those fears are most of the time they're unconscious. So so that's something that's a side benefit. Would people out there like to release fear out of their body
in one breath?
Yeah.
Or a few?
Yeah.
I want to go back to what Alice said. This is really great. She was saying, that's me. I notice I don't breathe all the time. Too much outward action, not enough focus on self. It's so true, especially we're a mom. I'm a mom. We have two small children. We have small children. We have a business. We have relationship. We have friends, family. Of course, in this world we give out, and sometimes it's easy to forget about ourselves.
And also, Alice, that if you just go back to the comment, also, what I was going to say on that is. This is quality time. Even if you only give yourself 3 minutes, the breathing is quality time because you are spending time with yourself. So just think about it. If all of you mums out there who don't give yourself time, this is quality time. So get more quality time with yourself. Just do the breathing.
Yeah. Mia says, when I was really stressed, my kinesiologist noticed I was wheezing instead of breathing. Yeah. Lots of fear coming up, scary where it takes your head. Yeah, That's right. And that's why it's really important on the exhale to relax and let go. Because when you meet intensity, you want to meet it with equal relaxation.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see some of the comments here. 3 minutes a day, so doable. It is, Helen.
Perfect.
3 minutes.
And that's it. I always say, great, bring that up, Helen. I always say to people, and even when I was training people in the physical training world, I'd always say to them, set yourself up to win. Don't say you're going to go out and run a marathon with no training, or you're going to go and do an hour workout, or you're going to commit to going and do an hour every day. Start with 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So start with 1 minute. You can get a timer. We've got timers.
We got a 3-minute timer. You just
go into Kmart and buy one.
Breathe it.
Yeah, and watch the sand. It's mesmerizing.
The girls love it too. Our little ones. Definitely need more of this. The feeling after now is nice, warm face and head, and feel soothed.
We haven't even taken you guys through a breath hold, which don't get me started on microdosing on the fear of death and the breath holding. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So
I used your box breathing technique before presenting a keynote to 5,500 people in March, and I was peeking out, and I rocked it. Love you guys. Great.
Thank you, Alice. We love hearing that. You know, the box breathing, Alice mentioned box breathing there. Box breathing is a control breathing. You take control in the box breathing. So, if you're peeking out, taking control, and it's going to center you, and it's going to give you laser focus. So, awesome. That's awesome.
Well done. See, it's great when you use it. Helen, I've been doing well in traffic too. That's good. That's really good. Just make sure you don't get too dizzy while you're in traffic.
No,
but that is
keep
brilliant.
doing it in traffic.
Angela, I don't know if it was just me, but breathing that fast, I felt like I couldn't breathe deeply enough. Is this something to the speed or the consciousness deep breaths that are slower just as beneficial? Or conscious deep breaths slower just as
actually,
beneficial?
Just on that, Angela, great question. What happens is when you start to take control of your breathing mechanism, what you'll notice is there's a thing called energy to effort ratio, and that is that you're expending more energy to take the breath than the breath is giving you, if that makes sense. So what happens is the more you train your breathing mechanism, you seem to take calmer, they're still voluminous breaths, but they're calmer breaths, and you're getting more oxygen in. So it doesn't always have to be a rapid speed, but initially when you start out, you're going to feel like you need to do that. That's why what we also teach is we teach a segment called paces and spaces, and that is that we get you to breathe in deep into the bottom space. We get you to breathe into the middle space and the upper space so that you can start to feel the difference in the volumes of breath that happen with that. And what eventually happens is you get this sensation of breathing with your whole body. And the breathing with your whole body is not necessarily something that's fast and erratic. It's just, they call it, in the yoga tradition, they call it a perfect yogic breath. And so that's something that you'll get used to with it.
It's very beneficial. I love doing the long, slow ones for relaxation. I love doing the fast ones to increase my energy. When I need to get something done, I just do fast, short, sharp, just to increase the energy.
And that's a great point too. Just on Angela's one, and what Angie said.
The Anges.
breathing in upregulates your nervous system, breathing out downregulates your nervous system. So breathing in's fight or flight, breathing out is rest and digest. So when you want to energize, focus on inhale. When you want to relax, focus on the exhale. It is really that simple. That is why your breath is an amazing mechanism.
Yeah, and Helen was saying another live video. Yeah, we could go on and on and on.
Oh yeah, you know Helen.
I know, you know us. I know, Amanda. I'm going to incorporate this into our daily meditation ritual with kids. Do you know what we do with our kids? That is the most brilliant thing. Yeah. First, we lead by example, and second, they know it's a staple in our house. 3 size, 1 yawn.
That's the best because
3
it's
size, 1 yawn.
naturally inherent in them.
Straight to the point, and we do it like we sit down to read books in the evening. 3 size, 1 yawn before we start, or even before we eat, and it just helps them connect. They even tell us now.
3 size, 1 yawn.
Diane, I would love to hear more about the death breath. I've done that a few times. It's a feeling. It's amazing.
Diane, it's breath one holding. Of my favorites. It's one of my breath favorites holding. is the holding the breath and being in that dead zone. It's an amazing, the still point, I call it a still point meditation. Yeah. It is, once you've oxygenated your body and you hold your breath for plus 3 minutes or 4 minutes plus, it is an absolutely amazing experience and sensation.
It really is. And Mia was talking about it in the beginning. It was difficult for her to do the breath work, found it was hard. And was wondering if she wasn't putting enough work in.
You will get that. We're going to catch up this weekend and we'll have a quick chat on that. You will get to the point where you'll get lazy with your breathing practice because you kind of get to a point where the body won't allow you to breathe in the way that you think you're breathing, and this is all part of retraining the breathing mechanism. So we always recommend that it usually takes about 10 good hour-long circular breathing sessions to really iron out all the knots and all the bugs. Think about your phone. Your phone sometimes needs to be turned off and on. Well, you've got some bugs in your breathing mechanism as well, so you need to get them out. They need
Sleep
to be,
mode is not enough sometimes.
You need to Control-Alt-Delete. And so doing the circular breathing for an hour, hour sort of session is really the key to unlocking that.
And Sonia says, great for teens to do it before going to their exams.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're alert and clear-headed, you'll get better grades.
You think about it. Think about it from the perspective of, they always say exercise clears your head. Well, think about the breathing. Upping your breathing rate is probably, I would say, 80% of it. The exercise is great for your body, but it's the breathing that really is the thing that clears your head. Oh,
that actually reminds me. Let's give you some figures here on detoxification. So urination, defecation, perspiration detoxes the body between 3 and 20%. Respiration detoxes the body 70%. That's more than 3
and we've got a paper that's all over our website.
We can share that with you.
It's a peer review, PubMed publication. We'll share it on. We'll share it on here so you can have a look. It's an interesting one about carbon and water, and adipose tissue or fat tissue is mainly carbon and water, and it gets excreted through the breathing, through the breath. So
Julie was saying, I love this, something I want to learn so much more about. Where do I go to find out more? Well, great. Well, I think we'll have Helen.
Post,
Helen, if you've got the link, maybe if you want to pop that link in there, she'll be able to guide you where to go as well. We'll see if we can post that there. Wow, thank you immensely. This is the most concentrated thought, my breathing. I'm anxiously trying to turn my health and life around 40 years. Where can I learn more of this and connect with you to help me develop a practice naturally so it becomes less anxious? I catch myself holding a breath a lot. I get that,
Just go, who was that from?
Kerry.
One of the things too, Kerry, that we find is that when you practice the breathing, what happens is you train it into your unconscious. So all of your unconscious patterns around emotional traumas, around physical things that are in the body, you start to get into those. You dive into them and you can start to unwind them. So what happens is with things like anxiety, a lot of people fall in the trap of thinking anxiety is all in your head. They think I've got shitty thoughts or I'm always worrying about things that haven't happened in the future. We've found out, and we've got a little, we can also post this up there as well, is
infographic.
That dysfunctional breathing causes anxious thoughts. Anxious thoughts cause dysfunctional breathing. So it goes around this horrible, vicious cycle. And so it most of the time it's not the thoughts, it's the dysfunction in your breathing that's having you feel the anxiety. So it was a real surprise to us, and so once you become aware of it and you start unwinding those things out of the unconscious, then you start to have less anxiety, like less probably anxiety that may be something that's, you know, preventing you doing things in life.
And for me, it's a whole lot easier to release anxiety with the breath than it is thinking my way out
of
it.
Absolutely. It's way easier. Way easier.
And, Dan, I could listen. Holy wow, I can listen more for more people in Melbourne this weekend. Oh, yep, there you
Thanks,
go.
Helen's put down the link
Helen.
for us. You can find us
Melbourne
on there.
this weekend. We're Gold Coast next weekend. Sonia, breathing's much easier to do in public than coffee enemas.
Try both, Sonia. Try both.
Oh, I love this group. It's so great. Well, good. Well, I think we've gotten all the questions there. And look, we could really go on and on and on and on.
Thank you for having us on here.
Thanks,
It's
Helen,
a real
for
honor.
having us come on and share what we love. This is our passion. We love this. So I'm sure we'll come on and do some more again another time.
Diane, you could come tomorrow.
Yeah.
You could or you will. Diane, come on.
And tomorrow here in Melbourne, we do have our breathing and ice bath event. So yes, we'll be breathing and jumping into the ice. And so not only will you detoxify, but you'll increase the metabolism when you jump in the ice bath.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, even though getting into ice may seem daunting, here's the thing. It ups your metabolism by 300%.
Oh, how would you like that?
So it will bash toxins out of you. It floods you with feel-good hormones. I mean, we're an advocate for, and it doesn't even have to be ice. I mean, if you guys don't join us tomorrow, all you have to do is have a hot shower and then turn it to cold for 20 to 30 seconds.
Especially in Melbourne, it's
cold. Or as
cold.
long as you can stand, and then turn it back to hot again. It's great because what it'll do is it'll open up all the vesicles in the body, then close them down, then open them up.
It's so like you're massaging and exercising
it's pumping
from the
toxins
inside
out of your body, the vascular system.
Yeah.
So just think about that as also a benefit. It's not for everyone, the cold, but if you can get comfortable with being uncomfortable, there's superpowers inherent in it.
That's right. And Julie, coffee enemas and breathing together are the bomb. They are. It really makes for an efficient enema. Can help with your state of mind too. Yep. Okay, great, guys. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to ask some questions and sharing this with us. We look forward to catching up with you guys another time. Have a wonderful Friday and have a great weekend.
Remember, it's not in the words, it's in the practice, so keep breathing.
That's right.